Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Winford High School for Coach's Corner West. Baseball team, the Winford softball team, as well as the Winford track and field team. But first, I'd like to remind you that this is brought to you in part by Adam Wiseman Associates at Advanced Fiber Technology, Coach Tim Plumley at Mohican Sports Medicine and Rehabilitation, Matt Studer, Spitzer, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and Kia in Mansfield, Rob Luss at the Edgefield Animal Clinic in Marion, Matt Ramsey, John Ziegler, Drew Young, Frank Heinlein and Associates at Bucyrus Blades, and Roger Brown at Winks Lock and Save. So up first, we have the Winford baseball team with head coach Tom Smith. Thanks for coming out tonight, Coach.
Thanks for having us.
So, kind of to get an idea of what you guys are facing coming into this year, you guys are the reigning N10 champions, 20-6 overall last year with a 13-1 record. The only blemish on that league record coming to Upper Sandusky, a game that we had on the radio and that I remember calling. And this is the team. You guys do lose 4 seniors, including college baseball player Avery Langendorfer. So, if I can get your insight a little bit about what you got coming in with this group as opposed to what you lost, I'd be interested to hear what you have to say.
I think coming back, we've got 6 guys that all hit above 300 last year, so we have a really good core back. Probably the biggest concern is you lose your starting catcher. A catch that's an important position defensively, making sure we can fill that spot. But I think overall we should be similar to last year.
And kind of, I'd say the biggest point to make is you guys do return the reigning N10 Player of the Year as well, and Grant McGuire, who standout basketball player, just a great athletic kid. So obviously the 3 people at this table are going to be very important to this team as well as Grant. So you know, what are some things about you guys are going to try and focus on not getting complacent, being N10 champions? You know, only losing 1 league game last year, you're going to try and come in. It is 0-0 again this year. So what are you guys going to try and do to avoid getting complacent?
Well, Upper Sandusky is actually the favorite to win the league since they didn't graduate anybody. So we get to start out with them right out of the gate. First week of the season, we'll see where we stand with them. And then I think we were disappointed where we finished in the tournament last year. So that's where I think the drive is to advance a little further in the tournament this year.
Yeah, and you know, touching on that, it was a game we also had on the radio, and a game you guys had most of the control of the entire game, you know, and then it comes down to the final pitch of the year is one that's not swung at. So, you know, you got to look at it going into this season, how you're going to try and bounce out for. But looking out past Upper Sandusky, what are some other teams that are on your mind?
League-wise, Seneca East is probably the next tough opponent in the league. So it'll come down to us and Upper and Seneca East. Non-league, we've got a tough non-league schedule. We play Fredericktown, who's a regional team with all their starters back. We've got Ontario, Clear Fork, Galleon. So we play a lot of D2s non-league. We actually play Edison non-league as well as Tiffin Columbian. So we've scheduled a difficult non-league schedule to prepare us for that tournament run.
Was Fredericktown the team you guys tied with last year as well?
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so, you know, it's kind of shows you evenly matched, you know, maybe a smaller school, but you guys are able to make the most out of that non-conference schedule. Before we talk to the players, I'd like to remind you that this is brought to you in part by Lee Plymouth, the Plymouth Insurance Group in Bucyrus and Galleon, Hannah Newton at Wendy's downtown Bucyrus and Upper Sandusky, North Central State College, Mansfield, and the Crawford Success Center in Bucyrus, Tabitha Smith and Associates at Waycraft Industries, Rod Steiger and Associates at Pizza Hut, Bucyrus and Galleon, pizza provider for Coach's Corner West, and the Burkhardt Farm. We had Burkhardt Farm Sales, your Case IH dealer on Manette, New Winchester Road. So up first at the table, we have Caden Allen. Thanks for coming out tonight, Caden. So as an entire team, you know, you look at it, every single player is an N10 champion coming into the season. You guys have been the cream of the crop of the league last year, so, you know, Coach can preach as much as you want about not getting complacent, but in your eyes, as a senior on this baseball team, what are you going to try and do to get the guys to not be complacent, not be satisfied after last year's finish?
Yep, we just got to keep pushing. You know, we got to finish. We didn't finish the way we wanted to last year, but, you know, we got to keep going.
You know, you touch on it, that Edison team that beat you guys went on to the state championship, so you got to think about it, even though that is a little bit earlier in the tournament, that is a team that, you know, if you beat them, you might as well make it there as well. So, you know, not to kind of touch on the end of the season before it even starts, but certainly something to look at. And what's your position on the team this year?
I'm left field.
Left field. So, what's a strength you think that playing that position are going to be able to help the team as well as maybe with the bat in your hands as well?
I think speed out there. I feel like I can cover a lot of ground.
And last thing, what's your favorite field to play at?
I'm not sure. At home, of course.
At home? All right. Thanks for coming out tonight, Kanan.
Yep.
Next up, we have Dylan Robinson, somebody I know well. Dylan, what's your position this year?
I'm going to be a utility player. I'm guessing play everywhere whenever I'm needed.
You know, knowing you personally, you do play a lot of travel ball, and you know, you kind of switch positions. I know you play second base. Sometimes you can pitch. You play outfield as well. So, you know, being a utility player and somebody that's kind of like a Swiss Army knife on this team, what are some strengths that you think you have that'll be able to help the team?
I think that my ability to also cover a lot of ground in the infield and even in the outfield if I'm needed there. And this year, I think I'm going to be looked at as more of a pitcher. And looking at my stats the past few years, I don't look like a pitcher, but I feel like this year I've improved a lot, and just a lot of pitching is going to be in my mental mindset this year.
And, you know, looking at the N10 roster and just Upper Sandusky and Seneca East, Upper Sandusky didn't graduate a single player, so everybody you faced last year is coming back as well. But is there anybody other than those two teams that kind of stand out to you as a potential foe on the season?
In the N10, I don't think so. I think that Upper is going to be the team to beat, really. And non-league, like you said, probably Edison, the Frederick Towns, Tiffin Columbian, those teams will be good competition for us, even though we didn't have a lot of those games last year and we lost Edison in the districts. I think that playing those teams will prepare us well for the end of the season and our tournament run.
And was Tiffin Columbian the team you guys played last year right before Edison, I believe?
No.
Or was that Tiffin Calvert?
Calvert.
Tiffin Calvert, okay. So, yeah, certainly non-league is just as important as league, and I look forward to the season. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Thank you.
And lastly, we have Sam Colney. Thanks for coming out tonight, Sam.
Yep, thanks for having me.
And I know that you are kind of one of the aces on this team. You know, you're definitely very efficient on the mound. So, you know, going into your senior season, it's your last chance to play high school baseball. What are you going to try and do to lead this team on the mound is one of the most important positions on the field?
Well, like you said, I'm going to come out and I'm going to do the best I can on the mound, and just going to try to be as efficient as I can. And when I have to play second base, I'll make every play I can.
Absolutely. And, you know, growing up, you've been around Winford baseball a lot. You've been around Winford sports a lot. Your dad playing here, your older brother, who I know well. What's it been like to kind of grow up, play the sport that you love, and kind of lead this team as you go forward?
It's been great, you know. It's like a small community. Everyone knows everyone, you know. It's been an awesome time, you know.
And lastly, what's your favorite field to play at?
Home. I like home.
Is there anywhere else other than home you like to play at? Somewhere you kind of like to go over and beat somebody?
I like Carey's Field, too. I like Carey's Field. That's about it.
All right. Thanks for coming out tonight, Sam. Before we talk to Coach one last time, I'd like to remind you that this program is brought to you in part by Blythe Friedley and Todd McDougal at Friedley & Company Insurance in New Washington, Ted Coder at the Monarch Body Shop in New Washington, The Ohio State University at Marion, a Big Ten education close to home, Mike Kleinheit at Ag Credit Residential Lending, Bucyrus, Mountain Gilead, and Marion, Dr. Thomas M. Britton at Club View Vision Center in Bucyrus, Dr. Erica Schieber at Bucyrus Veterinary Service, and lastly, Luann Krebs at River's Edge Embroidery, Screen Printing, and Signs in Marion. So, talking again with head coach Tom Smith. Coach Smith, you know, you've been around baseball a lot of your life. Your two sons, Wyatt and Noah, went on to play college baseball respectively. You know, so I've talked to a lot of coaches throughout this season and tried to get their insight. What has it been like to be able to coach baseball for you?
I love baseball, that's why I coach. Obviously, when you coach high school sports, you're not in it for the money. So it's because I love baseball and I love watching these guys play. And, so I'm excited about what we can do this year.
And, you know, looking at the season ahead and kind of some of the areas that you're excited about, some of the areas you're nervous about. If I remember correctly, you guys are going to return a lot of your pitching staff with Sam. Grant can pitch as well,
top
right?
two.
Top two pitchers, okay. And I know Kendall pitched last year as well a little bit, right? So with that, with pitching and defense and some of the bats in the lineup, what are you most excited about in terms of how you feel safe with the position group?
Well, I think we've got good experience. Like I said, we got 6 guys that hit over 300, so our offense should be very good again. Probably the 2 areas of concern, one is we have our top 2 pitchers back, but after that, I think Dylan threw 3 or 4 innings last year. He would be the next most experienced as a varsity pitcher. So depth on the pitching is something we've got to figure out. So I think Dylan and Drew Johnson is going to hopefully fill that role. And then, like I said, getting a new starting catcher is always difficult. So we'll figure out how that's going to field out. But other than that, I mean, I feel good about our defense. Like Kanan said, our outfield's fast. We can cover some ground. Guys up the middle have been here. Those 2 guys have been playing for 4 years. So, and they're playing up the middle and pitching. So I feel good about the defense and about our hitting. That's just some depth.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Are you guys going to be able to field a JV team this year?
Oh yeah, we got 29 kids. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
I mean, that's great to see. And do you are you really involved with like the junior high? And I'm unfamiliar if there's a elementary program at all, but I know there's like a junior high club sport baseball. Do you
so
look at that at all?
Yeah, so I'm involved with keeping the junior high going, and then matter of fact, we had baseball camp Saturday. We got another follow-up baseball camp this week. So most of those kids end up playing in Bucyrus Little League and some travel ball teams out of the area, the younger kids. But yeah, we got so good feeder program.
Awesome. And before we end things here, any scrimmages coming up?
Yeah.
Have you had any scrimmages yet?
No, we scrimmage 2 weeks from tomorrow, right? 2 weeks from tomorrow, we open up scrimmages, and we've got, on our scrimmage schedule, we got Shelby, Huron, Hopewell, Loudon, and Lexington. So,
And are those all schools higher division than you guys?
all of them but Hopewell.
Gotcha. So certainly a good challenge coming into the season. You know, you guys have a tough non-league schedule, and you know, you're trying to get a deep tournament run. So I'm looking forward to the season. Thanks for coming out tonight.
Thanks a lot.
Up next, we'll have the Winford softball program here on Coach's Corner West.